Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at the FDA's draft guidance on AI-enabled medical devices.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, specifically what it means for getting these devices to market.
Okay.
We'll be focusing on lifecycle management and marketing submissions.
Right.
This stuff is really revolutionizing medicine,
Yeah.
and the FDA is really making sure it's done right.
Absolutely. It's fascinating how the FDA is staying ahead of the curve here.
Mm-hmm.
They're really recognizing that incredible potential of AI in healthcare.
Yeah.
And you can think of this draft guidance as their way of saying, we're here to help you innovate responsibly.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, think of it as a partnership for progress in this new frontier.
Like a guidebook in a way,
Yeah, exactly.
for navigating this exciting and sometimes complex landscape.
Mhm.
And that's what we're here to do for you today. Break down the key takeaways from this hefty document.
Right.
Just to be clear up front, we're talking about a draft guidance issued in January 2025. And it's directed at both the industry and the FDA's own staff.
Got it.
It lays out recommendations, not like hard and fast rules,
Right.
but it provides incredible insight into the agency's thinking on this crucial topic.
Yeah, it's like a sneak peek into the future of medical device regulation.
I like that. Okay, let's dive in. The FDA starts by laying out their vision,
Okay.
a total product lifecycle approach, or TPLC.
Oh, yeah.
What does this mean for those of us in the pharmaceutical and medical device industries?
So what it really means is the FDA is thinking holistically.
Okay.
They're not just looking at a device at a single point in time. They're considering its entire journey, from its initial design to its use and monitoring in the real world, even years down the line.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not just about getting a device approved, it's about ensuring its safety and effectiveness throughout its entire lifespan.
Exactly. And they're placing a huge emphasis on patient-centered AI.
Okay.
Good machine learning practices, transparency, and addressing potential biases in algorithms. This is a big signal to the industry that responsible AI development is paramount.
For sure. Now, before we go any further, let's define some key terms.
Okay.
The FDA keeps mentioning AI-enabled device software functions,
Right.
or AI-DSFs. That sounds pretty technical.
Yeah.
Can you break that down for us?
Sure. An AI DSF is the specific part of a medical device that uses AI to perform its function.
Okay.
So let's say you have a robotic surgical system.
Okay.
The entire system is the AI-enabled device, but the algorithm that guides the robot's movements during surgery, that's the AI DSF.
So the AI DSF is the brains of the operation.
Exactly.
Okay. Why is this distinction so important for those of us developing and marketing these devices?
It's crucial because the FDA's guidance focuses specifically on these AI-powered functions.
Okay.
Understanding this distinction helps you know which parts of your device will be subject to the most scrutiny during the regulatory process.
Now things are starting to click.
Good.
So when we get to those all-important marketing submissions,
Yeah.
the documents we need to submit to the FDA to get our AI-enabled devices approved,
Right.
what does the FDA want to see?
You can think of the marketing submission as a comprehensive story about your device.
Well-
The guidance lays out a roadmap for what that story should include. The FDA wants a clear and transparent account of how you've developed and validated your device,
Okay.
ensuring it meets their standards for safety and effectiveness.
And while each submission will be unique, the guidance provides those essential building blocks, right?
Absolutely. The FDA acknowledges that a simple AI-powered blood pressure monitor
Right.
will have different documentation needs than, say, an AI system designed to analyze medical images for cancer detection.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The FDA is essentially saying, tell us everything we need to know to be confident that your device is safe and effective.
Right.
But amidst all this cutting-edge technology, I see the FDA emphasizing the importance of existing quality system QS regulations. Are they saying, hold on, the old rules still apply?
You got it. Those quality system regulations found in 21 CFR 820 are the bedrock of medical device development.
Yeah.
And the FDA is making it clear that these regulations still apply to AI-enabled devices.
Can you give us some specific examples of how these regulations translate to the world of AI?
Sure. Think about design controls.
Okay.
The meticulous process of documenting every step of the design process. This ensures the device is well-defined, meets user needs, and aligns with its intended use.
Right.
Then there's validation rigorous testing to prove the device works as intended,
Okay.
and design change management, ensuring that any modifications to the device are carefully documented and assessed for potential impact.
Right.
All of these elements are essential for building trust in AI-driven healthcare.
It's like the FDA is saying, innovate, but do it responsibly and build on the foundation of what we already know works.
Exactly, and this benefits both the industry and the FDA.
Okay.
Companies familiar with QS regulations already have a head start, and the FDA can leverage existing frameworks to streamline the review process.
Now let's move on to the device description section of the marketing submission.
All right.
What's the key takeaway here?
The device description is where you paint a clear picture of your device for the FDA.
Okay.
Think of it as a detailed resume for your AI-enabled device.
Got it.
It should highlight its key characteristics, intended use, and how it fits into the clinical workflow.
What kind of details does the FDA expect to see?
They want to know everything.
Oh, wow.
Where will this device be used?
Yeah.
A hospital clinic or a patient's home? How does it work?
Right.
What's the degree of automation?
Okay.
Does the AI make decisions on its own, or does it provide recommendations to a human clinician? The FDA even wants to know about the input data the device uses, where that data comes from, and how it's processed.
It's about giving the FDA a 360-degree view of the device and its role in healthcare. And I'm seeing that the guidance also emphasizes the user interface and how users interact with the device.
Of course. These are medical devices designed to be used by healthcare professionals.
Right.
And in some cases, patients themselves.
Right.
The user interface needs to be intuitive and easy to understand and support safe and effective use.
A confusing or poorly designed user interface could have serious consequences.
Absolutely.
Especially in a healthcare setting.
And the FDA wants to see that companies are thinking about this from the beginning.
Yeah.
The guidance even suggests using visuals, graphics diagrams, maybe even video demonstrations to make the device description even clearer.
It's like saying, don't just tell us, show us.
Exactly.
And that focus on the user experience extends to labeling as well.
Yeah.
The FDA stresses that labeling for AI-enabled devices needs to be crystal clear about the AI model, its performance, and the data used to train it.
It's all about transparency and building trust, both for healthcare professionals and for patients who might be hesitant about AI playing a role in their care.
So far, the FDA's message is clear. Be transparent, be thorough, and prioritize the user experience. But we've only just scratched the surface.
For sure.
We'll delve deeper into risk assessment, data management, and more in just a moment.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
There's much more to uncover in this fascinating world of AI in healthcare.
I'm excited.
Me too.
So before we went to that quick break, we were talking about the importance of user experience and transparency when it comes to these AI-enabled devices. But now let's shift our focus to risk assessment.
Okay.
You're probably thinking AI, it brings its own set of risks.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
What's the FDA's stance on this?
Well, they're laser focused on managing those risks, especially those tied to the information these AI-enabled devices process. Think about it. If that information is misunderstood or misused, it could compromise the safety and effectiveness of the device.
Yeah. Can you give an example of what you mean?
Sure. Imagine a device that uses AI to analyze medical images.
Okay.
If the output is unclear or a clinician misinterprets it, it could lead to a misdiagnosis or a delay in treatment.
Oh, wow.
The consequences could be serious.
So it's not just about the AI itself being accurate.
Right.
It's also about making sure the information it produces is understood and used correctly by humans in the real world.
You nailed it. The FDA is calling for a comprehensive risk assessment that goes beyond just the technical aspects of the device. It needs to consider the tasks users will perform, the knowledge they need to use the device properly, and the potential for information to be misunderstood.
It sounds like the FDA is taking a multi-layered approach.
Yeah.
Looking at the technology itself and the human element.
Exactly.
They're also putting a lot of emphasis on data management. Which makes sense. These AI algorithms are data hungry, right?
Absolutely. Data is the lifeblood of AI. The FDA recognizes that. It's what these algorithms learn from and use to make those predictions. That's why the guidance delves deep into data management recommendations. They want to see that companies are using reliable, accurate data to train and test their AI models.
It's all about quality control when it comes to data, isn't it?
Precisely. The FDA wants to see that you've considered the source of your data. Is it representative of the diverse patient population your device is intended to serve?
Right.
If your data is biased, you'll end up with algorithms that don't work for everyone.
That's a critical point, ensuring these devices are effective for all patients regardless of their background.
Exactly.
What other aspects of data management does the guidance highlight?
It digs into data cleaning and processing,
Okay.
making sure that data is prepped correctly before it's fed into the AI. They even talk about data annotation quality.
Right.
Even the process of labeling data can introduce bias if it's not done carefully.
It's incredible how much thought goes into every step of this process.
And there's more. The FDA is also concerned about data storage security. Okay.
Especially since we're dealing with sensitive patient information.
Right.
They emphasize keeping training and test data separate to prevent contamination and get an accurate picture of how the model's actually performing.
It's like a scientific recipe. Every ingredient must be measured and mixed correctly for the experiment to work.
Exactly.
And speaking of recipes, the FDA also wants companies to be upfront about the model description and development, right?
Yeah.
They want to know what's happening under the hood of these AI systems.
It's not enough to just say, hey, our AI works great.
Right.
The FDA needs to understand the nuts and bolts of the algorithms, the model's architecture,
Okay.
and the specific features the AI is using to make decisions.
I imagine this helps them identify potential limitations or biases that might not be obvious on the surface.
You're absolutely right. The FDA is looking for any red flags
Right.
that might suggest the AI isn't as reliable or fair as it should be.
Okay.
They also want a clear explanation of how the AI was trained and what data was used. So it's all about transparency and ensuring there are no hidden surprises.
Exactly.
And once you've built your AI model, the next step is to prove that it works right.
Yeah.
That's where validation comes in.
Validation is essential for any medical device.
Okay.
And it's no different for AI-enabled devices. The guidance is clear. Companies need to demonstrate with objective evidence that their devices are safe, effective, and perform consistently as intended.
So what does this validation process look like in practice?
It involves two key aspects.
Okay.
Performance validation and usability evaluation.
Okay.
Performance validation focuses on proving the device delivers on its promises
Right.
for the intended patient population.
Okay.
This means carefully designed studies, robust statistical analysis, and clear reporting of the results.
It sounds rigorous.
Yeah.
I guess that's the point, right?
Yeah.
We want to be completely sure these devices work as intended.
Absolutely. But performance is only part of the picture. The FDA also stresses the importance of usability evaluation.
I thought usability was more of a design or user experience thing.
Okay.
Why is it so important for the FDA?
Well, in the context of medical devices, usability is directly tied to safety and effectiveness.
Okay.
The device must be usable by its intended users,
Right.
whether that's healthcare professionals or patients at home.
Can you give us an example of why usability is so crucial?
Sure. Imagine an AI-powered insulin pump that's incredibly complex to operate.
Okay.
Even if the AI accurately calculates insulin dosages, a confusing user interface could lead to a patient making a mistake.
Oh, no.
With potentially life-threatening consequences.
That's a powerful example. So usability testing ensures these devices can be used safely and effectively in real-world settings.
Exactly. The FDA even provides recommendations on how to conduct these usability evaluations, making sure users can understand and interpret the device's output correctly.
That makes sense. But even after a device is cleared for market, the FDA doesn't just walk away.
Right.
They emphasize the importance of ongoing monitoring.
Yeah, AI is constantly evolving.
Right.
And the data it encounters in the real world might be different from the data it was trained on.
Yeah, that's a key point.
The guidance refers to this as device performance monitoring.
Okay.
And it's all about keeping tabs on how these devices perform over time. The FDA expects companies to have a robust plan for post-market performance monitoring.
So it's not a set-it-and-forget-it situation?
Yeah.
Companies need to actively monitor their AI devices even after they're in use.
Precisely. And they need to be proactive in identifying and addressing any performance changes or shifts in data inputs that could affect the device's effectiveness.
Right.
This might involve updating the AI model, tweaking algorithms, or even recalling devices if safety concerns arise.
It sounds like a significant responsibility, but it's reassuring to know the FDA is taking this long-term view.
And remember, this is all part of that total product lifecycle approach. We discussed earlier, it's about a continuous commitment to quality and patient safety
Yes.
throughout the entire lifespan of the device.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's not forget another critical aspect of AI,
Yeah.
cybersecurity.
Uh-huh.
These devices are connected and process sensitive data,
Right.
making them potential targets for cyber attacks.
Yeah, that's a valid concern in today's world where cyber threats are becoming more sophisticated.
What's the FDA's take on this?
They're not taking it lightly. The guidance explicitly points to their 2023 pre-market cybersecurity guidance
Okay.
and emphasizes the unique risks associated with AI-enabled devices.
Can you give us some examples of those unique risks?
Sure, think about data poisoning,
Okay.
where attackers try to inject corrupted data into the AI's training set to manipulate its behavior.
Oh, wow.
Or model inversion, where they try to steal the AI model itself,
Oh, no.
potentially exposing confidential patient information or intellectual property.
Yeah, that's scary.
Even more concerning is model evasion, where attackers craft malicious inputs designed to trick the AI into making wrong predictions.
It's unsettling to think about, but we must be aware of these threats.
Absolutely.
What does the FDA recommend in terms of cybersecurity measures?
The guidance stresses incorporating robust cybersecurity controls throughout the entire development process. This includes things like vulnerability testing, data encryption access controls,
Right.
and secure software development practices.
It's like building a fortress around these AI devices to protect them from attack.
Exactly. And the FDA wants detailed documentation about your cybersecurity measures
Okay.
in your marketing submissions. It's about demonstrating that you've taken these threats seriously and have taken steps to protect the devices and the sensitive data they handle.
Okay. I'm sensing a theme here. The FDA wants transparency at every stage, from data management to risk assessment to cybersecurity.
For sure.
And that brings us to our final topic, public submission summaries.
Okay.
What's the significance of these?
Public submission summaries are a crucial part of the FDA's commitment to transparency,
Right?
especially when it comes to these AI-enabled devices. These technologies can be complex, and patients and the public deserve to know how the FDA is evaluating them.
It's about pulling back the curtain and shedding light on the decision-making process.
Exactly. The guidance is clear. The FDA wants public submission summaries that are detailed and informative, providing specific information about the device, its design, and how it was validated.
It's about building public trust. If people understand how these devices are being evaluated, they'll be more likely to embrace them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the guidance suggests using model cards, those fact sheets we talked about earlier, to present this information in a clear and consistent format that the public can understand.
It's all coming together. Model cards for the FDA, model cards for the public. It's about creating a shared understanding of these AI technologies.
And that's the key, breaking down those barriers of complexity and making the world of AI in healthcare accessible to everyone.
It's been an incredibly insightful journey so far into the world of these AI-enabled medical devices.
It has.
What are your final thoughts on the FDA's draft guidance?
I think the FDA is striking a balance here. They're embracing that potential of AI to revolutionize healthcare, but they're not cutting corners when it comes to safety, effectiveness, and transparency. This draft guidance is a valuable roadmap for the industry, outlining a clear path for developing and marketing these game-changing technologies responsibly.
You're right. The FDA is sending a clear message. Innovation is encouraged. But it must be done with the patient at the forefront.
Absolutely.
And for our listeners in the pharmaceutical and medical device industries, this guidance is a must-read. It provides the insights you need to succeed in this exciting new era of AI-driven medicine.
Couldn't agree more.
We encourage you to explore the FDA's draft guidance in more detail.
Yes, definitely.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. Wow. It's been an incredible journey, hasn't it?
It really has.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the FDA's big picture vision to the nitty-gritty details of data management and cybersecurity.
Right.
It's clear the FDA is setting a high bar for these AI-enabled medical devices.
They are. And I think this draft guidance really serves as a blueprint for the industry, guiding developers and manufacturers toward responsible AI innovation in healthcare. It's exciting to think about the possibilities, but we have to proceed carefully, considering those ethical implications of these advancements.
You're right. As we delve deeper into this world of AI-driven medicine, we need to ensure that human oversight and clinical judgment remain central to patient care.
Absolutely. It's a critical conversation we need to have as we venture into this uncharted territory.
So to wrap things up, what are the key takeaways from this deep dive into the FDA's draft guidance? What should our listeners, those in the pharmaceutical and medical device industries, really take to heart?
I think the biggest takeaway is this. The FDA is fully embracing the transformative power of AI in healthcare.
Oh, okay.
But they're not simply waving through any AI-powered device that comes their way.
Right.
They're taking a rigorous, comprehensive approach to regulation.
Yeah.
One that emphasizes safety, effectiveness, and transparency at every stage of the product lifecycle.
It's not about stifling innovation.
Right.
It's about guiding it responsibly.
Exactly. And that's why this draft guidance is so valuable. It provides a roadmap for companies developing these technologies, outlining the FDA's expectations in terms of documentation,
Right.
risk assessment, data management, cybersecurity, and more.
It's like a blueprint for success in this new era of AI-driven medicine.
And it's a blueprint that puts the patient at the center.
Yes.
The FDA is making it clear that these AI-enabled devices must be designed with the patient in mind, ensuring that they're usable, understandable, and ultimately contribute to better health outcomes.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities, but we need to proceed with caution and a deep understanding of the ethical implications.
Here's a thought-provoking question for you and our listeners to ponder as we conclude this deep dive.
Okay.
As AI becomes more sophisticated and integrated into these medical devices, how do we ensure that human oversight and clinical judgment remain paramount in patient care? It's a discussion we need to have as we venture further into this uncharted territory.
It's a question that will shape the future of medicine as we know it. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey into the world of AI-enabled medical devices. We encourage you to explore the FDA's draft guidance in more detail and stay tuned for more deep dives into the most pressing topics shaping our world.